La 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 la.
Hello, Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel here in Hawaii. And no, this is not going to be a review of Seventh Heaven. When the announcement came out, I was very excited, of course, but almost immediately I noticed some problems with my ears, and it quickly developed into a full-on ear infection in both ears. Now I'm recovering right now, but I still cannot hear very well at all. My ears are clogged, so talk about horrible timing. I'm trying to avoid social media so that my review, when it does come, will be fresh. I couldn't resist looking a little bit, so one word that comes up over and over again is jazzy, so I like that. CC Dover seems to like it, so that's good. But anyway, that will be coming in a few days. But talking about timing, there is some good timing. If you don't have full use of your ears and you're an Angelina fan, this is a perfect time for a visual aspect of Angelina Jordan. I started to open this before I remembered that I had ordered her book all the way from Norway. So this is going to complete the unboxing, and put that over there. So this is her book. Now I'm not going to show you much of this book at all because I very much want you to support Angelina Jordan by going out and buying this. So I am going to talk about a little bit about how you can buy it. That's mainly going to be in the description below. And about how you can pretty easily translate it. Because I wasn't able to figure out a way to get an English version. Maybe there is one, but I wasn't able to figure it out. So anyway, feels nice and sturdy. This cost me about $50 US, and about 10 of that was shipping. And I'm about as far away from Norway as you can get here in Hawaii, and it took 4 to 6 weeks to get here. So again, there will be fairly detailed instructions and a link to the website to get it. I'm just telling you right now that it's a little bit trial and error because although there's an option for switching to English, it doesn't seem to work very well. And it's like they ask you for a telephone and they're looking for a European formatted telephone number. I think it's a different number of digits. So I had to end up just putting in a dummy phone number. But once you get the email from them, then you know that your order has gone through. Okay, so first I'm just going to look at the pictures without showing them to you. Then later on I'm going to use my Google Translate to read it, and I'll come back for a part 2. I can tell you right now the nice thick pages, and the illustrations by Mary Zamani. Of course, Mary and Angelina have a very symbiotic relationship. You can tell they both admire each other quite a bit. So this artwork is quite nice. It reminds me a bit of Diego Rivera, the Mexican muralist. And a lot of this, some of these I've seen before, but a lot of it I'm seeing for the first time. And you can see also how some of this inspired the artwork for the Million Miles lyric video. Oh, that's a good one. Just a quick peek at one page here. Very quick. Okay. Because you really need to support Angelina by going out and buying this book for yourselves. All right, again, just looking at the artwork. Good. I had heard that it was really short, but this is actually longer than I was expecting, which is good. I'm really going to be interested in hearing in seeing the translated version that Google Translate gives me. And of course, I'll be going more into the story of this, after I've seen the translation. But of course, this gives me an opportunity to talk about that other side of Angelina. In addition to being a great musical artist, she's also a very good person. And this is the whole story of why she performs barefoot on stage. And it's a very touching story. And I imagine this is going into more detail about it than I had heard before. So I'm very interested in that. These illustrations are all good. Okay, I'm also seeing some Picasso influences here in Mary's work. That's another thing. I need to get more familiar with her grandmother's artwork. Okay, here's a picture that was definitely used in, at least, a form of it was definitely used in the Million Miles lyric video. And I had wondered there's an image at the end where you can see somebody's face, but it's like covered with something, and I couldn't make out what it was at all. And now I see that you're not really supposed to see facial features. I'm not going to show it to you, though. You're just going to have to buy the book yourself. Here's an image of her climbing up the ladder to the moon, which we see in Million Miles. Oh, good. This is much longer than I thought, and it's really good artwork. So I'm very happy for this. I'm going to have to decide whether I want to actually print out the Google Translate translations so that I don't have to use Google Translate each time. There's a way that you can actually print out the translations that it makes. Okay, there's a kitty cat there. I wonder what that's about. Good, so there's actually quite a bit of text in this. I was thinking, I've been led to believe it was, 15, 20 pages and that was it. But this goes on for quite a while. So it might be an hour or so before I come back and talk more about the story of of why she goes barefoot. But so it looks like this doesn't have page numbers, but it's got to be something like 30 or 40 pages here. Nice, solid. All right, so I'm going to pause here, do some translating, and then come back with my review of the text aspect. But I can tell you right now that it's worth getting just for the artwork alone. All right, be back with you in a minute. Okay, I am back, and I can't believe it. She made me cry again. This is... I was ready to not like this, to think it had been overhyped. It's just a story of, giving her shoes to a girl, but it's told in very poetic language. I'm very impressed by the prose. The translation wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good and, enough to understand everything. Now, I really like how she tells the story in the present tense, gives a lot of details, and there's a lot of things about the other people involved in this scene that I did not know before. I should have taken some notes here, but she talks about, because then when I look at this again, I can't remember exactly what words go with what page, but one thing she talks about a man playing a violin, and the girl talks about how in school they were talking about what equals means, and she said being poor plus being sick equals misery, and there's a little bit of that right there. just the choosing to tell a story in the present tense is quite mature, and just the depth of feeling. I'm very glad I got this book, guys. It's definitely worth it, even if you can only get the Norwegian version. So, another example of the artistry of Angelina Jordan. She's really a special person. We know that she's musically a genius, but she's also such a good person. This is, of course, the story of why she's always barefoot on stage, is as a result of this meeting with this girl, and she wanted to be, she gave her shoes, and she wanted to be in solidarity with her afterwards. And she's also, she's done a lot of charity concerts, and she's just such a wonderful person. So go out and get this book. It's good for your soul, and you will be supporting Angelina Jordan even more than you do when you buy her videos, because the royalty on this, I don't know, she'd probably get at least $2 or $3 per sale. And like I say, it's a wonderful thing to have. It's also a wonderful gift to give to an Angelina fan, or to just give to anybody. Now, I just wanted to say a little bit about the translation. It's Google Translate. You can get that in the Google Play Store or the App Store for iPhone. And once you've got it set up, you can choose the original language and the language you want to translate it into. And there's several options. What I did was use the camera option. You just point at the page, and magically the text changes to English or whatever language you've chosen. Then you can just pause the translation, and the image freezes, so then you could just read it at your leisure. You got to give it a little bit of time. It kind of changes a little things when it's trying to get the best translation. So sometimes if you pause it too quickly, it hasn't translated everything, or it's not the best translation. But once you get that, you can pause it and read it at your leisure. Then if you want to save it, there's various options. You can do a screenshot, save the image that you're seeing on your phone. Different phones have different ways to do that. Or you can use their scan option, where it scans it and then converts it into a printed document that you can export to various things, print it out. So that's probably eventually what I'm going to do, so that I don't have to be carrying my phone with me to be able to read this. Maybe insert the pages in there. But yes, well worth your $40 to $50. Definitely well worth it. Well worth it. So before I go, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, because it kind of relates to Angelina Jordan, in the sense that we're both kind of international families. I have a lot of connections with the Philippines and with Spain. Here's me and my wife and daughter about 12 years ago. So my wife is from the Philippines, so I'm going to be doing at least one episode of a Filipino edition of my vlog. Here we all are in the Philippines, and with the very big extended family I have there, and also there's the Spain connection. Here's my sister and her daughter in a little town in Spain that we actually lived in. So I'm going to have a Spanish edition where I speak Spanish of my vlog. This, Filipinos are very into music of all kinds. And of course, the Spanish language is, we need to get more people who are Spanish speaking aware of Angelina Jordan. That new Spanish, Argentinian reactor CC Dover has been great for that, of exposing more people to more Spanish speaking people to Angelina Jordan. But so, Angelina Jordan has the same thing of a connection to different countries. She has the Japanese and Iranian on her mother's side, and then she has, I think, Swedish and Norwegian on the father's side. And she has, I've read that Japan is her favorite country, and she's been to Iran, and of course, she lives in the US. The same way I lived in Spain, and now I've been in the Philippines many times. And, I have a half Filipino daughter. So, I like that connection. So, here I am in Hawaii. I'm just going to go over here. This is my home, and you've seen some of my vlogs where I'm outside, because I live close to the ocean. But actually, I live really, really close to the ocean. So here I'm stepping out of my front door, and I just want to sign off right here on the beach. This is a beach in my front yard. So this is Chris Walker, the Big Angie fan. Aloha from Hawaii.